Yeah, so hi everyone. I am Harshit Logre, pursuing my undergraduate from IIT Kanpur and presently working as a research intern at Maritime Research Center, Pune. And my topic for today's presentation is economic modeling for sustainable silt management in Maharashtra region. So for the introduction part, let me introduce what is silt. Silt is fine-grained soil or sediment transported and deposited by water, typically found in riverbeds, reservoirs, and irrigation channels. Due to excessive silt accumulation, it reduces water storage capacity, clogs irrigation systems, degrades aquatic habitats, and increases flood risk. So, silt management involves monitoring, controlling, and removing sediments from water bodies to ensure ecological balance and infrastructure longevity. Poor silt management may lead to high dredging cost, agricultural losses, and infrastructure damage, making economic planning vital for sustainable management. So, economic models help quantify trade-offs, evaluate policies, optimize resource allocation in silt removal, reuse, and prevention strategies. So the next part is the need for silt management in Maharashtra. First is frequent flooding and waterlogging. Excess silt accumulation in riverbeds, reservoirs, and drain reduces water's carrying capacity. And major rivers like Godavari, Krishna, and Tapi witness overflow during monsoons, impacting agriculture and settlements. Second is fisheries and biodiversity threats. Silt disrupts aquatic habitats and fish breeding grounds in rivers and estuaries, and it negatively impacts local fishing communities and ecological balance. Third is declining storage capacity of dams. Over 3,000 dams in Maharashtra face sedimentation issues, and silt reduces water storage. It affects irrigation, drinking water, and hydropower generation. Example, Ujjaini dams. And last one is the agricultural productivity loss. Poor soil quality and inconsistent water supply due to silt clogged canals and tanks, and reclamation of desilted fertile silt can help restore soil nutrients on farmlands. Next part is the case studies from case studies. It consists of various economic policies or models that is being practiced by different countries for the silt management. First one is from the United States, that is market-based trading. The economic model it follows is cap and trade or grid-based incentive system. Its mechanism is water quality trading. WQT allows entities to buy or sell pollution reduction credits. Example: sediments, nitrogen, phosphorus under the Clean Water Act. And its working is that polluters with lower compliance costs reduce sediment discharge, and they sell credits to other who face higher reduction cost. So economic benefit it has is cost efficiency in meeting regulatory targets and encourages investment efficiency in meeting regulatory targets and encourages investment in green infrastructure like wetlands and riparian buffers. And it fosters the intersectoral operations like agriculture and industries. The next point is the Netherlands, that is public investment with ecosystem valuation. The economic model it follows is state-led investment, ecosystem, and service valuation. The mechanism it follows is that government invest in habitat creation using credit silt as a resource, not a waste. And the economic logic it is that it integrates ecosystem service valuation, example carbon sequestration and biodiversity into public budgeting, and it avoids cost of landfill disposal and creates long-term ecological capital. The benefits it has is that the public cost savings and it promotes a circular economy and sediment reuse. Next one is of Australia, that infrastructure cost sharing and avoided dredging cost. The economic model it follows is that the infrastructure investment with avoided cost and accounting. And the system it follows is coal cost, seawave sand bypass system, capital intensive installation by port authorities. And the economic logic it follows is that it bypasses natural sediment flow, reducing downstream siltation, and uses avoided dredging cost to justify the investment. The economic benefit it has is it's a 40% reduction in ongoing dredging cost and maintains a beach health, reducing a coastal erosion cost, and it helps in the circular trade as well. Next one is the United Kingdom, private sector innovation with market driven returns. The economic model it follows is that it private sector innovation with market driven returns. And the economic model it follows is private investment with resource recovery markets. The economic logic is that the silt converted to marketable products like compost, topsoils, and landfill covers, and it operates under a profit motive without public subsidy. The revenue streams it has is that bypasses natural sediment flow, reducing downstream siltation, and it uses avoided dredging costs to justify the investment. And the economic benefit it has is it reduces landfills disposal cost and generates multiple income streams from silt use. Next part is the impact on the key economic sectors by the silt management. This is right for the agriculture part. It improved the soil health through reuse silt, process silt. Example in the compost UPA. And second is the reduced nutrient runoff, boost crop productivity and water conservation. Next is the port and maritime transport, lower dredging cost and improved navigability, like in Australia's sand bypass system. And second is the increased efficiency and reliability in trade and shipping logistics. Next is the environmental services and tourism. The habitat restoration example, Marker Warden in Netherlands drives ecotourism and cleaner river rivers coast and enhances public health and recreational uses. The construction next last is the construction and waste management. The silt converted into construction materials or landfill covers like the UK in the UK innovations, and it supports the circular economy by reducing disposal cost and material imports. Next part is the this flowcharts is showing how the silt management can cause a circular economy. It represents how a silt can re-enter the economy via reuse, like agriculture, construction, and focus on reducing waste, saving cost, and turning a liability into a resource. And it promotes sustainability and resource efficiency. Next part is the challenges to implement non-fiscal silt policy in the Maharashtra region. The first point is the lack of regulatory framework, the absence of clear provisions for trading sediment credits, reuse mandates, or ecosystem service markets. Second is river basin level coordination mechanism are underdeveloped. And second is institutional fragmentations. Multiple departments like irrigation, environment, agriculture, urban development work in silos. Lack of dedicated sediment management authority leads to inefficiency and overlap. Third is the limited private sector engagement. Low awareness and incentive among the private firms to invest in sediment reuse innovations, and no enabling mechanisms for market-based return without upfront profits. And last is the data deficiency and technical gaps. The inadequate mapping of sediments generation and movement and reuse potential, and lack of trained personnel to carry out valuation of ecosystem services or design offset schemes. Now, the way forward to implementing a non-fiscal silt policies in Maharashtra region. Firstly, is establish a state-level regulatory framework for that it contains a formulate a Maharashtra sediment management policy with legal backing for sediment credit trading, reuse mandates in infrastructure, agriculture, and ecosystem service integration. Second one is the create a multi-stakeholder coordination body, set up a sediment governance council with representatives from WRD, MPCB, agriculture, WLB, ULBs, and private sectors and NGOs, and ensures a convergence of schemes like Jalyut Shiver and NRM programs. Third is the pilot market-based demonstration projects. Select a pilot river basins, example Godavari, Krishna, and sub basins for sediment to produce innovation zones, and credit based trading between the upstreams farmers and downstream users. And last is to facilitate private sector entry via incentives and platforms, create an online sediment exchange portal for buyers and sellers, and promote triple P models for equipment, transport, and processing units without subsidies. Yeah, thank you, and that's all from my side.